It's hard to believe that Step by Step, one of the most beloved family sitcoms of the 90s, first premiered 34 years ago. The show captured the hearts of millions with its hilarious take on the ups and downs of blending two families under one roof. Fans still cherish the quirky antics of Frank, Carol, and their chaotic but lovable kids. But where are the cast members now in 2025? Have they continued thriving in Hollywood, or taken unexpected paths in life? From career triumphs and new ventures to personal challenges and touching moments, we're diving into the lives of the actors you grew up with. Suzanne Somers, who played Carol Foster Lambert in Step by Step starting in 1991 at the age of 45, is remembered for her portrayal of a dedicated mother who balanced her career as a beautician with raising her blended family. Carol's character was known for her unwavering determination and nurturing spirit, which made her a central figure in the show. Off-screen, however, Suzanne's career was marked by significant turmoil. Her fame from Three's Company was overshadowed by a public dispute over salary, leading to her firing from the show and a long period of career struggles. Despite her marriage to Alan Hamill, which lasted for over 4 decades, Suzanne faced personal challenges, including health issues such as breast cancer, which she fought courageously. She also struggled with the emotional toll of being in the public eye, often feeling isolated and misunderstood. Suzanne Somers passed away on October 15, 2023, at the age of 76, after a courageous battle with health issues.
If we had dated like normal people, then our kids could have gotten used to the idea, but...
David Graf, who played Dave Roberts in Step by Step starting in 1993 at the age of 43, was beloved for his comedic, easygoing character, always ready to lighten the mood with humor. In reality, however, David's life was filled with personal tragedies and battles. After his divorce, which left him emotionally devastated, David struggled with deep depression that affected both his career and personal life. He turned to substance abuse in an attempt to cope with the pain of his divorce and the struggles he faced professionally. Although he continued to find work, his personal demons were hard to overcome. David's health deteriorated rapidly in the years leading up to his death, with heart issues becoming a significant concern. On April 7, 2001, at the age of 50, David tragically passed away from heart failure. His death came too soon for someone whose career had shown so much promise, leaving behind a legacy of joy on screen but also a life marked by personal pain and loss.
In my cheerleading uniform, huh?
About that. Hey, Frank, could you give me some of that runny cheese?
Peggy Rea, who portrayed Ivy Baker in 1991 at the age of 70, was known for her warm, grandmotherly presence on Step by Step, offering wisdom and comfort to her on-screen family. However, Peggy's personal life was anything but easy. Her husband passed away, leaving her to cope with the loss of her partner and the emotional challenges that came with aging. Peggy's career, while steady, never reached the heights she had hoped for, and she found herself in roles that offered comfort but not the fame she once dreamed of. As she grew older, Peggy's health began to decline, and she struggled with heart disease, which cast a shadow over her later years. Despite the hardships, she remained active in her career, but by the time of her passing, she was dealing with the loneliness of old age and the loss of many close friends. Peggy passed away on February 5, 2011, at the age of 89, after a long battle with health problems. Her death marked the end of a life filled with both love and sorrow.
To doing a date.
Al, don't you think you should ask someone who doesn't date men who are on parole? He was not.
Mickey Jones portrayed Virgil in Step by Step in 1993. He began playing the quirky handyman Virgil at 52, known for his eccentricities and big heart. Although Mickey had a varied career in both television and film, he never fully regained the recognition he once had. His personal life, however, was filled with turmoil. He married early in life, but his marriage ended in divorce after years of infidelity and emotional distance. He had 2 children, but the family grew apart as his career faded. Mickey's later years were marked by loneliness, health struggles, and the emotional weight of being distant from his family. Despite his kindness on screen, his personal life was a series of quiet battles, with few people around him in his final days. He passed away on February 7, 2018, at the age of 76 after a long battle with illness, leaving behind a legacy of warmth on screen but personal sorrow and isolation.
Dearest, darling Frank, I'm sitting here at the kitchen table thinking of your luscious, tender lips.
Nedra Volz portrayed Mrs. Slezak in Step by Step in 1993. She was 85 when she took on the role of Mrs. Slezak, an elderly neighbor with a kind and gentle nature that made her a fan favorite. Despite her on-screen persona of warmth, Nedra's personal life was filled with profound grief. She had 2 failed marriages, and the most devastating blow came with the death of her only child, which left her emotionally shattered. As she aged, Nedra's health declined, and she became increasingly isolated. She spent her later years mourning the loss of her daughter and grappling with the emptiness of a life marked by personal tragedy. Her career dwindled, and she was largely forgotten by the public. In her final days, Nedra lived in seclusion, with little family support, her death a quiet end to a life filled with sorrow and solitude. Her passing on January 20, 2003, at the age of 94 was a sad reflection of a woman who gave so much love on screen but faced overwhelming personal loss in her real life.
In my hair and cussing that kid out for cutting me off, I felt like I was 16 years old again.
Tony Longo played Soupy in Step by Step in 1995. He was 34 when he joined the show as the fun-loving and boisterous Soupy, bringing excitement and energy to his role. However, despite his promising start, Tony's career was filled with unfulfilled potential. Behind the scenes, his personal life was far less joyful. His marriage, once full of love, crumbled under the weight of his insecurities, and they divorced after having 2 children. His struggles with depression and health issues intensified, and his weight fluctuated, which only added to his frustration. In his later years, Tony withdrew from the public eye, grappling with his demons and solitude. His life was marked by sadness, as he found himself alone, facing an untimely death that reflected the deep personal battles he fought in private. Tony died on June 20, 2015, at the age of 53 from health complications, leaving behind a legacy of a character whose brightness could not mask the darkness of his personal life.
And then try and eat.
Come on, Frank, let's get out of here.
Diane Delano, who portrayed Cop in Step by Step in 1994, was 37 when she took on the role of the tough and commanding character. Her character exuded authority and provided a sense of security, but Diane's career was filled with frustrations as she often faced typecasting in similar roles, which limited her opportunities for greater depth in her acting. Her personal life mirrored her on-screen persona, as she faced a painful divorce from a fellow actor after only a few years of marriage. Though Diane did not have children, she was often seen as a maternal figure to many of those around her. Despite the affection she received from fans, Diane's personal struggles led to a difficult later life. She battled health issues and a deep sense of loneliness, especially after the end of her marriage. Diane passed away on December 13, 2024, at the age of 67, from complications due to long-standing health problems.
Parents are married.
Oh. Well, you'll have to forget about those personal feelings and just look at him as some vicious low-life scumball.
I don't think there'll be any problem with
Al Molinaro, who appeared as Joe Passarelli in Step by Step in 1992, was 73 at the time of his guest appearance. Known for his warm, friendly persona on screen, Al's real life was filled with personal and professional challenges. Although he gained fame in the 1970s and 1980s with roles in Happy Days and The Odd Couple, his career struggled in the 1990s, leaving him to take on minor roles like Joe in Step by Step. His personal life was also fraught with difficulty, as his first marriage ended in divorce, and his subsequent relationships were no more successful, leaving him emotionally drained and alone. Al faced financial instability in his later years and had to work multiple jobs to support himself. His health began to deteriorate, and he struggled with depression as he dealt with the weight of aging and isolation. Al passed away on October 30, 2015, at the age of 96, from complications related to strokes.
I'm not going.
Well, it's almost time to open.
That's right. I'll go on.
Pat Crawford Brown, who portrayed Mrs. Hill in Step by Step in 1992 at the age of 63, captured the hearts of viewers with her portrayal of a kind, wise, and nurturing woman. Mrs. Hill, who offered much-needed comfort and advice to the characters around her, was a beloved figure in her brief appearance on the show. However, in her real life, Brown faced significant personal challenges. She married, but her marriage ended in divorce, leaving her without children, which led to a deep sense of loneliness. Though she achieved success as an actress, the emotional toll of her personal life became more apparent as she grew older. Struggling with health issues, Brown became increasingly isolated and spent much of her later years alone. Her death on July 2, 2019, at the age of 90, marked the end of a life that had been defined by both the affection of fans and the quiet sorrow of unfulfilled dreams.
What brings you by?
Well, my stepson, JT, is in your class. You know JT.
Yes, I just didn't recognize him with his eyes.
Patrick Duffy, who played Frank Lambert in Step by Step starting in 1991 at the age of 42, became a symbol of strength and love as the hardworking, devoted father of a blended family. Frank's character was known for his humor and strong moral values, traits that Duffy himself brought to life with sincerity. However, off-screen, Duffy's personal life was marked by unimaginable grief. In 1986, he tragically lost both of his parents in a robbery that shook him to his core. This profound loss left him emotionally shattered, and in the years that followed, his marriage also began to unravel, a casualty of the unresolved pain from his parents' deaths. Though Duffy continued to work in Hollywood, the emotional toll of his personal struggles was evident. At 75 years old in 2025, he remains active in his career but is still haunted by the tragedies that defined much of his life, carrying the weight of those losses with him into his later years.
What is it with you Lambert men and weed whackers?
Well, honey, when JT was a baby, he fell asleep on the lawn.
I don't want to hear it.
Brandon Call, who portrayed John Thomas J.T. Lambert on Step by Step in 1991, was just 15 when he began the role. J.T. was the quintessential mischievous teenager, full of heart but constantly getting into trouble, a character that resonated with many. However, off-screen, Brandon's life was filled with struggles. After the show ended, his career took a nosedive, and he found himself in a series of roles that never quite matched his early success. His personal life also spiraled downward. He faced a serious car accident that left him with long-lasting physical and emotional trauma. Brandon's marriage was short-lived and filled with conflict, and despite having 2 children, the relationship ended in a bitter divorce. Now 48 years old in 2025, Brandon lives away from the public eye, his life a shadow of the promise he once showed. He has largely retreated from acting, focusing on healing from the past, though the emotional weight of his career and personal misfortunes still lingers.
So, you're a cheerleader?
Yep.
Boy, I wish I had time for something like that, but I'm just so busy with school and homework and...
Staci Keanan, who played Dana Foster on Step by Step starting in 1991 at just 16 years old, was known for her intelligence, independence, and the role of the voice of reason in her family. However, her life off-screen was filled with personal difficulties that deeply affected her. After a brief and painful marriage in her late 20s, which ended in a divorce, Keanan struggled with self-doubt and loneliness. The marriage, which did not produce children, left her feeling as though a vital piece of her life was missing. Despite her acting success, Keanan faced emotional turmoil, often feeling overshadowed by the expectations placed on her both professionally and personally. At 49 years old in 2025, Keanan continues to pursue her career, but the scars from her past relationships and the dreams left unfulfilled still haunt her, leaving her with a sense of longing for the stability and love she never fully found.
We're gonna put our heads together and think with one mind.
Or pretty darn close.
Angela Watson, who played Karen Foster on Step by Step beginning in 1991 at the age of 16, was beloved for her bubbly, beauty queen persona and her occasional ditziness. Karen's charm and her passion for singing made her a standout, but Angela's real life was filled with far more heartbreak. After the show, Angela struggled to find meaningful acting opportunities, and her career slowly unraveled. Her personal life was just as tumultuous. Angela married young, but the marriage was fraught with infidelity and constant fighting, eventually leading to a painful divorce. She later had 2 children but continued to face the challenges of single motherhood while coping with depression and the weight of unfulfilled dreams. Now 49 in 2025, Angela lives a much quieter life, far from the limelight, with little public presence. Though she occasionally takes part in nostalgic reunions, much of her life remains spent recovering from her shattered career and personal setbacks.
I'm talking about the pledge committee for Delta Theta Zeta. The hottest sorority on campus, you know, DTZ. You mean DITS.
Christine Lakin, who portrayed Alicia L. Lambert on Step by Step starting in 1991 at age 12, was known for her tomboyish charm and tough spirit. AL's rebellious nature was a sharp contrast to the hardships Christine faced behind the scenes. After the show ended, Christine struggled to find substantial acting roles, often facing typecasting and long periods of unemployment. Her personal life followed a similar pattern of instability. She married young, but her marriage ended in divorce, leaving her with 1 child to raise on her own. Christine also dealt with the sudden loss of a close family member, a blow that sent her into a period of grief and isolation. By 2025, Christine, now 46, has distanced herself from the public eye. Although she occasionally returns to acting, much of her life is focused on healing from the emotional scars of her past, as she continues to cope with the disappointment and loneliness that have marked her personal and professional life.
Last night.
Last time I saw him, he was going out on a date with Sam. You don't think he stayed out all night with her, do you?
Josh Byrne, who played the sweet and innocent Brendan Lambert in Step by Step from 1991 at just 7 years old, was beloved for his adorable, naive persona as the youngest member of the Lambert family. Off-screen, however, Josh's life was filled with challenges. After the show ended, Josh faced an uphill battle in his acting career, struggling to find new roles that would match the success of his childhood fame. As his professional life slowed, his personal life became complicated as well. His first marriage fell apart amid the pressures of fame, and Josh was left raising his son, Evan, alone. His battles with substance abuse grew, as he used alcohol and drugs to cope with the overwhelming sense of failure and depression. Now 40 in 2025, Josh has largely retreated from the public eye. He lives a more solitary existence, wrestling with his inner demons while trying to rebuild his life and gain some sense of peace.
Because I'm sure she'd adore a date with a 10th grader from Wisconsin.
Oh, look, it's the Baywatch babes. Is it one of them?
That's not Baywatch, that's...
Christopher Castile, who portrayed Mark Foster in Step by Step starting in 1991 at the age of 11, became known for his role as the brainy, socially awkward son of Carol and Frank. Mark's character was intelligent but struggled with social interactions, a trait that endeared him to viewers. However, after the show ended, Christopher's transition from child star to adult actor proved difficult. Despite his early promise, the acting opportunities dwindled, leaving him with a feeling of being forgotten. In his personal life, he married his college sweetheart, but their relationship fell apart, leading to a painful divorce. This heartbreak, coupled with the pressures of transitioning out of the spotlight, led Christopher to struggle with depression for many years. By 2025, at 44, he lives a quiet life away from Hollywood, focusing on personal growth while dealing with the emotional scars of his early fame and troubled relationships.
Pedal to the metal.
Christy Rose? I love Christy Rose. I have all her CDs.
Sasha Mitchell, who portrayed the goofy and fun-loving Cody Lambert in Step by Step from 1991 at 24, was known for his carefree surfer dude persona. Cody brought humor and warmth to the family dynamic, but Sasha's life off-screen was far from the light-hearted character he played. After Step by Step ended, Sasha's career faltered as he struggled to find new opportunities. His personal life quickly unraveled as well. His first marriage ended in a bitter divorce, and he faced legal trouble in 2001 after being arrested for domestic violence, an incident that cast a dark shadow over his life. These personal struggles, combined with ongoing issues with anger management and mental health, caused Sasha to withdraw from the public eye. Now 57 in 2025, Sasha remains largely out of the limelight, still dealing with the consequences of his past actions.
Hey, Dudesy!
You know, she reminds me of somebody I really like. I just can't put my finger on who it is.
Hey, Code Man, how's it shaking?
Hey, what's up, styling?
Jason Marsden, who portrayed Rich Hawk in Step by Step in 1993, began his role at the age of 18. Rich, JT's best friend, was known for his laid-back demeanor, loyalty, and quirky antics. While Jason's early career seemed full of potential, it was quickly overshadowed by personal and professional struggles. His marriage to his childhood sweetheart fell apart in a bitter divorce, and he was left to cope with the emotional and financial fallout. Jason's career, which once held promise, began to decline as roles became scarce and his personal life took priority. He became increasingly reclusive, with occasional appearances in minor TV roles but no significant breakthrough. As of 2025, at 50 years old, Jason continues to struggle with financial instability, and the once vibrant actor is now living a quieter life away from the spotlight, reflecting on a career that could have been and the broken family he has yet to mend.
Well, you know, I have a very simple philosophy about that. You always aim low, and you'll never be disappointed.
Wait, so that...
Patrika Darbo, who played Penny Baker in Step by Step in 1991, was 43 when she joined the show as the lively and supportive sister to Carol. Penny's character was beloved for her optimism and cheer, yet Patrika's real life was far from as bright. Her marriage ended in a painful divorce after nearly 2 decades, leaving her to raise her children as a single mother. One of her children faced serious struggles with addiction, adding another layer of emotional strain to her life. Though Patrika continued to work in Hollywood, her roles were often minor, and she faced years of financial instability and unfulfilled career potential. The joy she brought to her character on Step by Step seemed a stark contrast to the private hardships she faced. In 2025, at 76, Patrika still works occasionally, but her career never reached the heights that it once promised, and he lives a quieter life now.
Yep, I'll be able to pay back Dad for the house I leveled this morning.
Tips? You get tips?
Bronson Pinchot, who played Jean-Luc Rieux-Perrex in Step by Step in 1997, began his role at 38. Jean-Luc's flamboyant, quirky nature brought a unique charm to the show, but for Bronson, his career became a series of missed opportunities. Despite early success with his role in Perfect Strangers, he found himself typecast and struggling to find meaningful roles as his career progressed. Personal issues mirrored his professional struggles. His 2 marriages were short-lived, marred by constant conflicts and a lack of emotional fulfillment. Bronson's battles with substance abuse further complicated his life, and he became increasingly distant from both his family and his fans. By 2025, at 65, Bronson is living in near obscurity, far from the limelight that once shone on him. He leads a solitary life, with limited public appearances and a career that feels like a distant memory.
And it all cleared out.
Yeah.
You know, Frank, Mrs. Thompson said to me, she said, Jean-Luc, is, you know, the...
Donald Gibb, who played Slasher in Step by Step in 1993, was 39 when he joined the show. Slasher's intimidating yet surprisingly caring nature made him a memorable character, but Donald's career was often confined to tough guy roles. After Step by Step, he struggled to find meaningful work in Hollywood and became increasingly typecast, limiting his opportunities for growth. His personal life mirrored his career struggles, with his first marriage ending in a bitter divorce, and later relationships failed to provide him the happiness he sought. Donald battled alcohol dependency and depression as a way of coping with the weight of his professional and personal disappointments. His health deteriorated over the years, and he became more isolated from both his fans and his family. By 2025, at the age of 70, Donald lives a quiet life, distanced from the spotlight, burdened with physical ailments and the regret of a career and life that never met his expectations.
Out of each other's teeth for about 1,000 miles.
Oh, Slash, you're so romantic.
Whoa. Love America.
Alexandra Adi, who portrayed Samantha Milano in Step by Step in 1997, was 26 when she joined the series. Samantha, a strong-willed, beautiful, and intelligent character, was a love interest for JT and instantly captured viewers' attention. However, Alexandra's career struggled after the show, and she found it difficult to transition to leading roles, often relegated to minor parts. Her personal life was marked by pain, with a difficult divorce from her first husband, and her romantic relationships after that also failed to bring the fulfillment she had hoped for. In addition, she faced health challenges, including a debilitating autoimmune disorder, which left her physically weak and emotionally drained. By 2025, at the age of 53, Alexandra is living a reclusive life, far from the fame she once experienced. She spends most of her days dealing with the emotional scars of a life filled with unfulfilled career dreams and strained personal relationships.
No big deal.
I know, but I just can't stop thinking about it. I mean, you've been winning at everything we do.
So what?
So?
June Lockhart, who portrayed Helen Lambert in Step by Step in 1996 at the age of 71, became a cherished presence as a wise and loving grandmother figure, offering guidance and comfort to her family. However, behind the warmth of her character, Lockhart's personal life was far from fulfilling. She married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce. Her first marriage to John M. McIntyre ended after 17 years, and her second marriage to architect Richard E. L. Sargent was short-lived. Despite her career success, Lockhart struggled with loneliness, especially in her later years as many of her friends and colleagues passed away. The lack of lasting family connections and the emotional toll of unfulfilled relationships left her with a sense of regret. Now 99 years old in 2025, Lockhart lives a quiet life in her later years, reflecting on a career that spanned decades but was overshadowed by personal sorrow and isolation.
Hi, Nana. Oh, this can't be Brendan. You're so big, it must be JT.
Nope, it's me. And guess what? I made the honor roll.
You're right, you're not JT.
Bodhi Elfman, who portrayed Gary in Step by Step in 1994 at the age of 25, is remembered for bringing a fun, quirky energy to the show. His lively character was full of enthusiasm, but Elfman's personal life was far more tumultuous. His marriage to actress Jenna Elfman, which initially seemed like a perfect match, eventually crumbled under the pressures of their busy careers and the demands of raising children. While they had 2 sons, the emotional strain of their relationship led to increasing distance between them. Elfman struggled with feelings of inadequacy and isolation, often questioning his place in both his marriage and career. Despite enjoying professional success, his personal challenges, including his sense of failure as a husband and father, cast a shadow over his achievements. Now 55 years old in 2025, Elfman continues to work in entertainment, but the unresolved emotional struggles from his past still affect him, leaving him feeling disconnected and unfulfilled despite the external success he has garnered. Oliver Muirhead, who played Jeffrey Howell in Step by Step in 1992 at the age of 35, is best remembered for his portrayal of a pompous but charming character. However, his real-life struggles were far from the character's light-hearted nature. Muirhead's personal life was marked by emotional pain as his marriage, which once held promise, ended in divorce. The separation from his wife led to estrangement from his 2 children, whom he found it difficult to stay connected with as his career took precedence. The emotional fallout from his divorce, compounded by his difficulties in balancing career and family life, left him feeling isolated. His career slowed in the years that followed, and Muirhead faced struggles both professionally and personally, reflecting on the costs of his ambitious pursuits. At 67 years old in 2025, Muirhead lives a more private life, still coming to terms with the consequences of his past mistakes in both his personal and professional life, which continue to weigh heavily on him.
Lunch will be at 1 o'clock, but don't eat too much because afterwards we shoot the swimsuits.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Jeffrey.
What is it this time? She's too young to eat lunch?
Oh.
Suanne Spoke, who portrayed Madame Sonia in Step by Step in 1993 at the age of 40, played a role that brought an aura of mystery and intrigue to the show. Madame Sonia's enigmatic presence, often involved in dramatic storylines, captivated viewers, but Suanne's own life has been marked by turmoil and personal tragedy. After Step by Step, Suanne's career struggled to maintain momentum, with only sporadic acting roles that never reached the same level of success. In her personal life, Suanne faced the heartbreaking dissolution of her first marriage, which ended in a bitter divorce. Her second marriage, which began with promise, soon crumbled due to emotional distance and unresolved issues, and they eventually separated. A devastating blow came when Suanne lost a sibling to a prolonged illness, leaving her emotionally distraught. Now 71 years old in 2025, Suanne lives a reclusive and quiet life, far from the spotlight.
To read your palm, or perhaps I could do your astrological chart.
Oh, no offense, Madam Sonia. I'm not into the
Francesca P. Roberts, who portrayed the kind-hearted Dr. Postley in Step by Step in 1995 at the age of 42, brought warmth and compassion to her character, often acting as a pillar of support for the family. Yet, her own life after the show was full of hardship and unfulfilled dreams. Despite her success on the show, Francesca struggled to find steady acting work, and her career slowly faded into obscurity. Her personal life was no less tumultuous. Her marriage ended in a bitter divorce after her husband's infidelity, which left Francesca heartbroken and emotionally vulnerable. Raising 2 children as a single mother brought immense stress, and Francesca was eventually diagnosed with depression, which affected her ability to maintain her professional and personal life. To make matters worse, Francesca faced the profound loss of her mother, which deepened her sorrow and sense of isolation. Now 71 years old in 2025, Francesca leads a quiet, solitary existence, far from the entertainment industry.
Really fun today. We're going to take our first sonogram, see what the baby looks like. So, Carol, I'm going to ask you to hop up here, get comfortable, lift up your shirt, and just relax.
John Astin, who played the quirky and lovable George Humphreys in Step by Step starting in 1994 at the age of 64, provided much-needed comic relief with his eccentric antics. However, after the show ended, John's life took a turn for the worse. His career stalled, and despite his extensive experience, he struggled to find meaningful roles. John's 2 marriages were also marked by heartbreak and betrayal. His first marriage ended in divorce, but his second marriage, which began with optimism, was fraught with infidelity and ultimately collapsed. The greatest tragedy in John's life came when his son tragically died in a freak accident, a loss that left him devastated and emotionally shattered. This personal tragedy weighed heavily on him, and John withdrew from public life in the years following. Now 94 years old in 2025, John's health has significantly declined, and he lives in relative seclusion, no longer the jovial figure he once was.
Oh, thank you. Nobody doesn't like the code man.
Philip Charles McKenzie, who played Phil the bellman on Step by Step in 1992 at 46, became beloved for his warm and quirky portrayal of the helpful hotel bellman. However, after the show ended, Philip's personal life took a dark turn. His marriage to his wife dissolved, and the emotional toll of the divorce left him struggling with feelings of abandonment. Philip also faced significant financial hardship after his career stalled, with few acting roles to keep him afloat. His relationship with his children soured as he withdrew further into isolation, plagued by guilt and the weight of his unfulfilled potential. By 2025, at 78, Philip lives a quiet, mostly solitary life, far removed from his days of being a familiar face on television. The fame and warmth of his step-by-step character seem like distant memories, overshadowed by the emotional and financial struggles he has endured.
Go to a better hotel.
Wait. You mean there's nothing else?
I'm sorry there's a convention, but listen, if you folks need anything else,
Andrew Keegan, who portrayed Matt Crawford in Step by Step in 1995 at the age of 16, became known as the charming, confident heartthrob who added a layer of romance to the show. Matt's good looks and smooth-talking nature made him a standout character, but unfortunately, Andrew's career after Step by Step took a sharp downturn. His post-show career was marked by a series of failed roles and personal struggles. After marrying his longtime partner Courtney and having a daughter, Lily, their relationship quickly unraveled, leading to a painful and public divorce. In addition to this, Andrew battled substance abuse, which led him to retreat from the public eye. His personal life was overshadowed by his struggles with loneliness, addiction, and regret over missed opportunities. As of 2025, Andrew, now 46, lives a more private life, working through the consequences of his past while largely distancing himself from the limelight.
You're trying to clean each other's teeth. So, Matt. Good night.
Good night, sir. Bye, Al.
Bye.
Troy Evans, who portrayed Mr. Tubman on Step by Step in 1994 at the age of 46, was a stern yet fair character, known for his no-nonsense approach and strong moral compass. However, Troy's personal life became marred by hardship after his time on the show. His long-term marriage to Linda ended in divorce, leaving Troy heartbroken and disillusioned. The emotional toll of the divorce, coupled with the sudden death of his father in 1998, led Troy into a deep depression. His acting career also declined, with fewer opportunities coming his way. The combination of personal loss and career struggles weighed heavily on him, and he retreated from the limelight. As of 2025, Troy, now 77, has largely withdrawn from public life, living quietly and reflecting on the life he once had. His career and family, once sources of pride, now seem like distant memories overshadowed by years of grief and regret.
Yeah, you're a bunch of cheaters. You're a whole family of cheaters.
Let me tell you people something. I would rather be a cheater than a sniveling little tattletale.
Dan Gilvezan, who portrayed Howard Adler in Step by Step in 1991 at 41, was known for his sharp wit and quick humor, bringing a distinct charm to his character. However, Dan's career stagnated after the show, and his personal life began to unravel. He went through 2 failed marriages, each ending in painful divorces that left him emotionally scarred. The breakdown of his relationships strained his bond with his children, creating an ever-growing rift within his family. In the early 2000s, Dan suffered a serious car accident that left him with both physical and emotional scars. His once thriving career faded into the background as he struggled with feelings of isolation and regret over missed opportunities. Now, at 74 in 2025, Dan remains largely out of the public eye, living quietly and reflecting on the personal and professional losses that have come to define his later years. His early success feels like a distant memory in the wake of all that he has endured. Who is your favorite character from Step by Step? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.